Okay, let me hit you with a truth bomb that no one in politics seems to understand. People say the government should manage money like a household. But that's nonsense. Your credit card debt can bankrupt you. Government debt can't. You don't issue your own currency. The government does. Government surpluses cause recessions. Yep, you heard that right. Surpluses cause recessions. Let me explain. When governments run a surplus, they are taking more money in taxes than they spend, which means they are sucking money out of the economy. That's like draining the fuel from your car and wondering why it stops. This happened in the 1920s. President Calvin Coolidge ran big surpluses. The private sector filled the gap by borrowing like crazy. Stocks, speculation. The roaring 20s. Then, boom, Great Depression. Same thing happened in the late 1990s. Clinton ran a surplus. Wall Street pumped up housing debt. And boom, global financial crisis. Every time the government cuts spending, the private sector takes on more debt until it all crashes. And now, Trump too says he's going to eliminate the deficit with Elon Musk in charge of the Department of Government Efficiency. No, seriously, it's called Doge. They say it's about efficiency, but let's be real. It's about cutting public services, deregulating billionaires, and giving tax cuts to the rich. Again, here's the pattern. Government surplus equals private debt surge equals speculation equals crash every single time. Steve Keen, one of the few economists who actually gets this, says, yeah, tax cuts might offset the damage of spending cuts, but only if the right people, the masses, get the money. But guess what? It's always the rich who do. So here's the punchline. It's not about reducing the deficit. It's not even about fixing the economy. It's a cynical transfer of wealth from us to them. They cut services for the masses and hand tax breaks to the elite. So, if you hear a politician bragging about balancing the budget, ask them why every surplus ends in disaster. Because the truth is, deficits don't cause the crisis, surpluses do. Follow me for more truth bombs. This is a 5-episode, jaw-dropping series about the economy. We're told we're in crisis. Inflation, housing debt, labor shortages, energy, crisis after crisis, year after year. But what if I told you these aren't natural disasters? They are engineered, exploited, and rebranded. Start looking at the pattern. Every so-called crisis somehow manages to shift wealth upwards. Every time there's not enough, someone at the top gets richer. They tell us we're all in this together, but the truth is we're playing a rigged game. A game we didn't sign up for. A game we don't even benefit from. When prices go up, our wages don't. When interests rise, it's our mortgage, not theirs, that tightens. When housing becomes unaffordable, landlords cash in. When the government cuts services, it's called fiscal responsibility. When they cut taxes for billionaires, it's called policy reform. This is not about economics. This is about power and greed. The system wants us confused. So we blame the wrong things. Too much government, too many immigrants, too many lazy workers, too much spending. But none of that is true. The truth is, most modern crises are profitable events for the elite, rebranded as public emergencies for us. They are not bugs, they are features. This is a series about pulling back the curtain, one crisis at a time. So stay tuned. They keep saying we're in a housing crisis. And that part is true. But what they don't say is who benefits from the crisis. Because this isn't a supply crisis. We have more bedrooms per person than ever before. This is an affordability crisis, and it's being exploited. Landlords, real estate investors, and hedge funds, they are not suffering. They are thriving, because scarcity is good for business. Higher rent, higher property values, more leverage over tenants. And what's really wild, governments subsidize this. They offer tax breaks to investors. They deregulate short-term rentals. They let housing sit vacant for profit. You know what they don't do? Build enough public housing. Control rent prices. Protect the average person. And so when they say it's just the market, what they really mean is it's working great for us. And if you're not one of the owners, you're the one being squeezed month after month. So no, it's not broken. It's working exactly as intended. Let's talk about inflation. And let's start by saying this clearly. You did not cause it. They want you to think it was your stimulus check, or too much government spending, or people not wanting to work. But while they told you to brace for hard times, corporations raised prices far beyond their already profitable prices and made record profits. This wasn't cost-driven inflation. It was opportunistic price gouging. And how do we know? Because profit margins expanded. CEOs bragged about pricing power on earning calls. Stock buybacks surged. So let's be honest. They used the pandemic and the recovery as a cover to squeeze you harder. And when prices went up, what did central banks do? Raise interest rates. Who does that hurt? Not the corporations, not the billionaires. It hurts renters, homeowners, small business owners. It hurts workers trying to keep up. This is not a story about too much money. It's a story about who has the power to raise prices and who has to pay for them. And if we don't name that, we'll keep punishing the wrong people to serve the greedy. Ah, yes, the debt ceiling crisis. It shows up every few years, like a seasonal drama. The government's broke. We're running out of money. We must tighten the belt. But somehow, there's always money for weapons, oil subsidies, billionaire tax breaks. So what's going on here? The debt ceiling debate is political theater. It's not about money. It's about power and greed. And the goal? To justify austerity, to make you feel like you're the problem. That teachers, nurses, and public services are too expensive. But tax shelters in the Caymans, that's fine. Here's the truth. A government that issues its own currency cannot run out of money the way a household can. This is not about insolvency. It's about ideology. It's a manufactured crisis designed to extract concessions and protect wealth at the top. They want you to believe we cannot afford better healthcare, better housing, or better schools. But what they really mean is we won't afford them because they don't serve us. So what do all these crises have in common? Housing, inflation, debt, energy, labor. Each one is framed as a natural disaster, unavoidable, unpredictable, uncontrollable. But look closer. Each one redistributes wealth upwards. Each one creates more leverage for the few and more hardships for the many. This isn't mismanagement, it's strategy. It's not incompetence, it's greed with a PR team. They manufacture scarcity, then profit from the panic, then blame the victims. They don't need to lie. They just need you confused. Confused long enough to accept less, expect less, and fight each other instead of looking up. Once you see the pattern, you can't unsee it. This isn't just how the economy works, this is how power works. And the more we name it, the harder it becomes to hide behind. Follow if you're done falling for the lie.